Good evening, people. Welcome back to another Crypto Sherpa news video where I bring you the current crypto news. And there is lots and lots of news today that I'm going to cover for the past days I have not been going over. So let's just dive right on into it. So sit back and stay tuned. Okay, let me share the screen with you guys so we can just go straight into it. Some of these articles, I might not read the whole thing through just because there's a lot of news today. But beforehand, please give this video a thumbs up, like and subscribe, and share with your friends. It does help with the algorithm, and I appreciate all the new subscribers out there. So here we go, sharing the screen. Boom. Okay, first up in our article today, over 1.3 million Bitcoins transferred by anonymous whales in large lumps. So yeah, crypto's not dead. We're going to be getting a lot of FUD news or a couple of FUD news articles out there saying it's going to be dead. There's no use case, but billionaires are moving them. There we go. So over the past 24 hours, a large number of crypto transactions carrying an average of 21,000 Bitcoin was spotted on the blockchain. Over $60 billion USD worth of Bitcoin was transferred in total. Each of these 60 transfers totals approximately $1 billion on slightly less than an overall amount, or more than 2 million Bitcoin has been moved between anonymous wallets. The overall approximate amount of the transferred crypto funds equals a jaw-dropping 60, oh, I gotta count this out, hundreds, thousands, millions, $60.48 billion in fiat. Oh man, that's crazy. Each billion USD in Bitcoin costs about $13 to transfer. On Saturday, over $2 billion removed in the same way within several hours, and these transfers continue through the entire weekend. So yeah, people have been moving. The whales have not just been stocking up on the leading crypto, but according to a recent article, The Independent, over the past 3 months, crypto whales have been actually buying Bitcoin, apparently believing that another major BTC rally may occur in the short term. The major news outlets has written the wallets holding $50 million worth of BTC or more have been increasing their BTC position throughout the summer. The last time such a massive accumulation took place was prior to Bitcoin hitting the all-time high of around $64,000 in April of this year. Was it really 64? I thought Bitcoin was like really coming close to 70,000 or 80. I gotta redo my math about that because it's been a while since I've seen the all-time high, but that does make sense. But Alejandra Clark, a trader from the UK-based Global Block, believes that Bitcoin is showing strong buy signals for simple and exponential MAs. Therefore, MicroStrategy keeps acquiring Bitcoin. It added another 3,097 Bitcoin to its portfolio last week, as reported by you today and by me. I reported that the other last week. I thought it was good news to hear. But the market analysis from Daily FX Daniela Hawthorne also reckons that Bitcoin may gain momentum as a rise as high as $55,000 soon. I know today we have a little dip going on, but that's nothing to what's to come in the future. But yeah, so Bitcoin's still here. It's moving. It's not going anywhere, no matter what somebody may say. So let's move on with our articles, because as you can see at the top of my screen, all of these tabs, there is a lot of news. So next up, Dubai to benefit from expanding crypto market, Bittrex global CEO says. The United Arab Emirates has been cementing its presence in the digital asset industry recently with multiple efforts to further adopt blockchain-based technologies. Man, with just Dubai getting in, that will be crazy for Bitcoin because like they have tons and tons of oil money out there and other money. I forgot what they make in it, but just from everything I see in movies and whatnot, I just know there's lots of money over there. And if it gets thrown into Bitcoin, 100,000 is an easy estimate to get to. But the United Arab Emirates, the UAE, and Dubai among the friendliest jurisdictions for the cryptocurrency industry. According to Steven Stoneberg, CEO of Bittrex Global Crypto Exchange, Dubai is likely to benefit from the expanding crypto market in the Middle East as local regulators increasingly accept blockchain-related technologies. Stoneberg said in a Sunday Bloomberg interview that UAE, Dubai are doing all the right things and they're going to attract a lot of regional projects in the cryptocurrency industry. Stoneberg said he stated that these jurisdictions provide a great place to set up a token project or run a cryptocurrency exchange, largely thanks to the region's status as a tax haven. According to data from the Tax Justice Network, the UAE became one of the world's largest, fastest growing tax havens in March 2021, alongside with Switzerland and Bermuda. I think Dubai is going to do fantastically well, Stoneberg said, adding that Bittrex now expects further expansions and more clients in the region. Bittrex Global is a global crypto trading platform for Bittrex Exchange, one of the largest crypto exchanges in the United States. The global exchange was officially launched in September 2019 and is headquartered in Liechtenstein last year. Bittrex Global received a digital asset license to operate its crypto exchange under the supervision of Bermuda Monetary Authority. The UAE has been cementing its presence in the digital asset industry recently, with Minister of Economy Abdullah bin Tuka Al-Mari declaring in April that cryptocurrencies and an asset tokenization will be key to the country's plans to double its economy in the 10 years. In July, UAE joined the global central bank's digital currencies race. So yeah, they're going to try to come up with their central bank digital currency, but they'll eventually find out that that will not work. So this is the same thing as their current fiat or whatever they use. But they do realize that the tokenization of PIMs is key to the future, because in the future, NFT is not just going to be artwork, it's going to be a way of buying and selling land and property out there. Also be a way to probably buy and sell cars, trade cars. There'll be ways of keeping track of data. Who knows? They can even be brought into our America's election process. What's better than a blockchain technology backed election where you can't tamper with the votes, can't tamper with anything, and there's a specific amount for certain Americans. You can't just go print one out, or you can't create one. So it's like there's a lot of ways like blockchain technology can help the future, and just by having Dubai get into it, that's another big thing for the adoption world coming. Next up, here's our thing. No, okay, it's not the fun news I was thinking. But is China looking to launch a gold-backed crypto? Max Kaiser thinks so. Let's see what Max Kaiser has to say. The speculation around China's digital gold-backed currency is gaining considerable popularity. It is being speculated that China could launch gold-backed digital currencies next year at the Winter Olympics that are being hosted in Beijing. Is it still being hosted in Beijing? I thought there was a bunch of worldly things going on just because of COVID and everything, but yeah, who knows? I guess it's still going on. The avid Bitcoin advocates Max Kaiser retweeted a publication post reinstating his stance about his launch. He shared his formal claim that China may issue a gold-backed cryptocurrency at the Daniela Cambone show in 2019. Here's his tweet. I predicted this last year on the Daniela Cambone show. China will stun the world by launching a digital gold-backed currency at the start of 2022. KingsWorldNews.com/China will launch. But yes, last year, China's CGTN published an infomercial introducing a digital renminbi in the latest report, King World News. He speculated on the imagery used in the infomercial, highlighted that gold uses to fill in the digital coin graphic. This image is, in turn, has become the center of speculations for China's upcoming launch of the digital currency underpinned by gold. With China's digital gold prediction, experts also claim an inevitable decline of the US dollar while China becomes the leader, with advanced monetary policies supported by gold. Yep, the dollar is going down. All these bills passing, people not working, they just US keeps printing money. That just hurts everybody around the world. Like, yeah, I don't know how much longer the dollar can survive. We just celebrated its 50th year anniversary of it being taken off the gold standard. So China's kind of moving back with it, where they have a gold-backed currency. I don't think they talk about it in this article, like where they're going to move the gold-backed cryptocurrency, but I can see them making their yuan backed by gold, and then that will just totally make China the dominating CBDC out there if it's backed by gold. And we all know they stock-loaded a bunch of gold over the years, and that's why Nixon took it off or something. I forget why all that happened, but all I know is China holds a buttload of gold out there, and they can easily back a cryptocurrency, especially a CBDC, off of it. And then there you go. The rest of the world's going to adopt the digital yuan, and they start making their coins based off of that, like they do with everything else. Like that's why everyone's countries out there is doing so bad with their current fiat. Like Venezuela, I think El Salvador's had one. Peso's even backed by the dollar as well. So it's just like anything backed by the dollar is hurting because America is just printing up way too much money, and that's depreciating the value of their currency. So if China can have a stable enough coin to go out there backed by gold, people will back their currency that they make off of this. But that's what I think and see is going on. I'm no financial advisor or anything. I'm just a guy reporting the news for you. But that's that news. Moving on. Over $8 billion, Bitcoin weekly transaction volume reaches an all-new time high. I covered that in the first article. Wait, no, that first article was just whales. But the Bitcoin network has registered an all-time high in terms of transfer volume, but there could be more to the story. While the price of Bitcoin seems stuck beneath the $50,000 line, the network has actually seen a few all-time highs lately. On-chain data revealed that the weekly BTC transaction volume has exploded to a fresh record, while the number of tokens holders is recovering nicely. Transactions on the Bitcoin network to new highs. The analytics of the company's Glassnode recently highlighted the massive quick uptick in transaction volume on the Bitcoin network. The firm's data shows that the average weekly transaction volumes, an hourly chart with a 7-day moving average, has surged to new all-time highs over $8 billion. The impressive number was actually more than 50% higher than the previous record. Kudos. So here's the BTC chart right there. But it's worth noting, though, that the significant number most likely doesn't mean that the transfers occurred between regular users. Further data indicates that the entity-adjusted transfer volume in USD doesn't show the same increase as the aforementioned raw figure. Consequently, the most probable explanation is that the spike could have been from internal transfers, which is something that relatively calm meme pool supports. Here's the meme pool in the bytes. But Bitcoin holders are on the rise. At the same time, Glassnode outlined the number of Bitcoin holders had recovered some ground following the recent declines as previously reported. Retail investors tend to join the craze when the price pumps and retreat when it slumps. As such, the number of wallets with one less than one Bitcoin dropped after the mid-May correction. Now, though, as the cryptocurrency has neared $50,000 once more, those investors started to come back. Firstly, the non-zero addresses are above 38 million once again, which represents a monthly high. This means an increase of around 500,000 since the start of August. Those holding at least 0.01 coins have gone to a 3-month record at just over 9 million. They peaked in April and May, following the price at about 9.2 million. So yeah, I remember when I can understand why people are holding 0.01 coins, because there was articles back then saying if you can hold 0.01 Bitcoin, you will be well off in the future. It won't make you millionaires, but you will definitely have a lot more than the average person as the adoption comes a lot faster and sooner, as we see, because pretty soon Bitcoin's going to run out. There's only 21 million out there. About 18 million is currently in circulation. And we got giant whales buying them all up. We also got the biggest guys on them all, Grayscale, PayPal, Square, and MicroStrategy, buying up all the Bitcoin possible, basically the new ones being minted every day. And as the halving of the Bitcoin mining comes in, that's less Bitcoin they can purchase. So they're doing whatever they can to just gobble as much as they can. So whoever can hold 0.01 Bitcoin, they got the leverage in their hands, because when you can't get Bitcoin anywhere else, you can come up with the terms of how much. Like some people will go, hey, Bitcoin's only 100,000. Yeah, if you want my Bitcoin, you can have it for 200,000. You can make your own prices, because it's like they can't get it anywhere else. That's what's the beauty of these are going to be soon. But yeah, so that is that news. The BTC numbers of addresses are holding. Let's move on to our next article as we just chug along our way. Okay, here's our first FUD news. I don't even know who this millionaire is or billionaire is, but billionaire investor John Paulson says crypto has no intrinsic value. The billionaire subprime short trader in the 2008 financial crisis said that the digital assets have a limited supply of nothing. In the recent interview, subprime short investor and billionaire portfolio manager John Paulson criticized the volatility nature of the digital asset while advocating for investments in traditional safe havens such as gold. The co-founder of Paulson and Company, a New York-based firm launched in 1994, Paulson was a historic beneficiary of the United States housing financial market collapse in 2008 after placing a legendary successful short position. However, Paulson recently took the decision to dissolve his hedge fund into a family office after a 76.5% reduction in assets under management, from a peak of $38 billion in 2011 to only $9 billion in 2019. In an interview, Paulson was asked his views on the emerging cryptocurrency market, to which he claimed that the assets have a limited supply of nothing and no intrinsic value, citing that the heightened volatility of the nascent space in comparison with the relatively stable traditional markets as reasonable to deter from investing. He also mentioned his inability to identify the same asymmetrical patterns noted in his legendary trade a decade earlier, an opportunity where the market seemingly offered little to no downside risk while providing enormous upside potential. Paulson concluded his thoughts on the question of believing in cryptocurrencies with the stern response: cryptocurrencies, regardless of where they're trading today, will eventually prove to be worthless once the exuberance wears off or liquidity dries up. They will go to zero. I would recommend anyone investing in cryptos. Yeah, so this is part one guy who's either he's just spreading the FUD, he's actually truly believes in that what he's saying, or he's just trying to lower the market so he can collect more Bitcoin. As I keep saying, all these other companies and billionaires, not just this guy, whoever he is, I don't know, like all the billionaires out there in the world, but like he's just someone FUD who doesn't understand it. He thinks he either truly believes it has no exchange value, but the value behind Bitcoin is its freedom. It's a tool for freedom. Like, you do not need a middleman anymore to move a currency around. Like, sure, you have the dollar, but their banks are still in control of what gives it its value. Bitcoin, the people give it its value. And also, when you make a transaction, like, say I send 0.01 Bitcoin to my friend X, I hit send, and bloop, 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 the Bitcoin is being confirmed through the consensus program of all the people doing the mining and the hash rates. And then before you know it, bam, it's in my friend X's wallet. There is no more middleman. Nothing. It was just me going to him. So that's the beauty of Bitcoin. No, by him saying there's no value in it, I think that's huge value, because the middleman is the biggest thieves out there. The banks out there, they steal all the money from you. The government steals a ton of money from you through taxes. Bitcoin, yeah, it's a one-on-one transaction. Keep it on a non-custodial wallet, and it's set. That's your freedom right there. You can spend it too. There's many ways to spend your cryptocurrency, so you don't even need to sell it to move into the fiat currency. So that was just the fun news from this billionaire. But people, you believe what you believe. I'm just here to give you the news, give you some safe opinions. If you need help getting in the cryptocurrency world, follow the links down below. I am partnered with bitcoinconsultants.world. That's the website right there. But yeah, we are just a group of cryptocurrency consultants that's here to help you guys get into the crypto space safely and what to look out for. Because we know that there's many ways out there a person can lose all their money in this by sending it to a wrong address, keeping their money on exchange, and the exchange is shut down. There is just many ways like you could lose your cryptos, but we're here to help you out to make it a little bit more safer and easier for you to understand. But there's that news. Let's move on. After passing $1 trillion in crypto transactions, blockchain.com CFO hints at going public in 2023. Crypto exchange Kraken and stablecoin-focused company Circle have also said they're considering public listings. Katrina Kegel, Chief Financial Officer of the crypto wallet provider and exchange blockchain.com, said an initial public offering for the platform could happen as early as 2023. In a Forbes interview released on Monday, Kegel said blockchain.com could consider an initial public offering in 18 months or more. The company had $5.2 billion valuation following a $300 million funding round in March and a $120 million round in February. At the time of the former CEO, Peter Smith said that the company was carefully considering its public market options. Major cryptocurrency exchange Coinbase did not officially go public in the NASDAQ until April, but when the firm reportedly had a $100 billion valuation and Coinbase Pro was handling more than $3 billion in daily transactions, in a Monday blog post, Kegel said that the blockchain.com had surpassed $1 trillion in crypto transactions, most likely driven by the retail investors and institutional adoption through the platform's brokerage and exchange businesses. She added that the company's balance sheet consists of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and altcoins and cash. Blockchain.com may not be the first to follow in Coinbase's footsteps in the going public. Kraken CEO Jesse Powell said in June that the exchange was considering a public listing for the next year. Stablecoin-focused crypto company Circle said that last month that it plans to go public in a $4.5 billion and bullish in exchange. Got so tongue twisted right there. An exchange backed by Block.one, has also thrown his hat into the ring with a possible listing on the New York Stock Exchange. So kudos, another crypto exchange is going to be going public. So yeah, if you're a stock person, do that. I'm not a stock person. I don't trust it. I think it's been pumped by fake money for too many years. And once the government pulls out from it, then you're going to see the next huge stock market crash ever than before. But that's just my opinion and what I'm thinking could happen. Could be a conspiracy, could be the truth. You decide what's going on, but I just don't trust stocks. I don't trust paper money. That's why I'm moving into cryptocurrencies. I like having that freedom. I'm not trusting in my government's fiat. But that is that news. Next up, Russian man gets 3-year sentence for stealing a friend's mining rig. This is a funny article that decided to be posted, but a 34-year-old convict was reportedly unable to make use of the stolen mining equipment due to a lack of relevant knowledge. Oh, this is so funny. Authorities from Russia, Slovsky district have found a 34-year-old local man guilty of stealing cryptocurrency mining equipment worth more than 1.6 million Russian rubles. That's nearly $22,000. According to a report shared by the prosecutor's office of the Yaroslav region, the state prosecutor confirmed that Yaroslav resident was found entering a friend's garage unlawfully back in February 2021 and stealing their mining equipment that was intended to be used for earning cryptocurrency. The authorities found the Russian man to be guilty of committing a crime citing large-scale theft of property and illegal entry. In court now, the convict reportedly admitted to the charges and voluntarily returned the stolen crypto mining equipment back to the original owner. Additionally, he also admits to the court that he could not use the stolen equipment for mining due to the lack of relevant knowledge. Based on the finding, the court convicted the man to 3 years of a suspended sentence, along with a probation period of 3 years. This allows the defendant to have their case dismissed without actually jail time, given they comply with all the terms of probation. So, so just because you're a thief doesn't mean you can just steal a bunch of mining equipment. The only thing he could probably really use for it is just reselling it on the black market, Silk Road, and that's how he can get his Bitcoin. But it's funny, if you don't have the knowledge to mine crypto or how to use the rig, then there's no point in stealing it. So I thought that was just pretty funny. He was caught. He was he was prosecuted. So there we go. He's just doing his time now. So next up, Cuba's central bank moves to legalize use of cryptocurrency. More adoption news. Love it. Cuba has announced that it will recognize and regulate cryptocurrencies for payments, saying that socioeconomic interest has spurred its decision. Cuba's central bank recently published a resolution in the state-run official Gazette stating that it will set new regulations for dealing with cryptocurrencies. The central bank said that business providers or related services would need a license from the regulators to continue operations within the communist state. The announcement by the Central Bank of Cuba comes as the cryptocurrency popularity has increased in the country among some technological savvy groups. Crypto interest in Cuba has increased due to the increasing difficulty of sending and using US dollars on the island, partly because of the toughened American embargo on Cuba, which has turned the communist state into an outcast in the global economy. Former US President Donald Trump's administration implemented tough embargo rules that have made the life difficult in Cuba. Dr. Marilana Tonka, a professor of the anthropology at Portland State University, who has been researching Cuba for 10 years, disclosed that sending and receiving money between Cuba and the US became extremely difficult under Trump's administration. Western Union was a major channel for remittances operating its services in Cuba for over 20 years. In 2020, the American multinational financial service company shut down almost all of its 400 locations in Cuba and increasingly aggressive Trump-era sanctions. Although some people expected US President Joe Biden to normalize the bilateral relations, he has instead adopted a harder line, imposing further sanctions against Cuba officials. Desperate need for cash in Cuba has been triggered by blocked access to the global economy and further worsened by the COVID-19 pandemic. Such phenomena have led to the rise of cryptocurrency adoption nationwide. Woohoo! I love that, because the rise of the internet in Cuba has contributed to the growing cryptocurrency community. So many people in the country have 3G connective, and smartphones, a weak currency, and another factor that contributes to the appeal of Bitcoin. But since cryptocurrency can be used for anonymous transactions, they're often a popular way for people to evade government regulations, including circumventing U.S. restrictions on sending money to Cuba. Cuba's central bank stated that on the resolution that it plans to authorize the use of crypto assets for reasoning of socioeconomic interests, and the government assuring that such operations would be controlled by the central bank explicitly stated that operations could not involve illegal activities. So yeah, they're going to do their thing to regulate, do whatever they can, but yeah, that's what cryptocurrencies do. That's the joy of it. Like that one guy said, there's no use case. There's tons of use case around the world. So that guy, that $1 billionaire, fun news, but like it helps get away from like, yeah, sanctions among certain countries that may pose a threat to you. So it's like, oh, you're not going to allow us to move our money? Fine, we're going to use a cryptocurrency then because you guys have no control of it. And that's the beauty of cryptocurrency. Nobody's in control of it. It was created, it's truly decentralized. And yeah, that's why you really want a decentralized token. If you start coming out with CBDCs, that's a centralized token and it can be monitored, tracked, and blocked between countries. That's why I see countries like Cuba, Iran, and their station stuff, and who else has a lot of problems? Maybe Venezuela. But a lot of them are going to be using decentralized tokens like Bitcoin, Litecoin, even Divi. But there's so many true DeFi tokens out there. You just got to do the research, people. Just because the coin says it's DeFi doesn't mean it's truly decentralized. But that's the beauty of decentralization. You can get around these sanctions and whatnot. So I love it. Way to go, Cuba, for adopting it. Let's see, about 5 more articles. Let's get through it. There we go. Crypto exchange Binance to auction off Da Vinci Van Gogh NFTs. The State Heritage Museum and Binance are launching an NFT auction featuring works of some of the world's most renowned artists. The Binance NFT marketplace has today announced its partnership with the State Heritage Museum that will see the platform auction off a digitalized collection of the world's masterpieces from the museum's main exhibition. Titled, Your Token is Kept in the Hermitage, the collection comprises a total of 5 NFTs, with a copy of each NFT remaining at the museum. These include digital reproductions of the Madonna and Child by Leonardo da Vinci, Judith by Georgina, Lilac Bush by Vincent van Gogh, Composition 6 by Wesley Kandinsky, and Corner of the Garden at Montgarden by Claudia Monet. The NFTs, which stands for non-fungible tokens, are provably unique digital assets that have garnered increased popularity over the recent months. NFTs use cases range from digital collectibles, music, and in-game tokens to, as is the case of Binance's latest auction offers. So yeah, each NFT is set to go under the hammer on August 31st during Binance NFT's marketplace event. Comes with a starting bid of 10,000 Binance USDs, or roughly $10,000. BUSD is a Binance native stablecoin pegged to the US dollar. Mikhail Piotrowski, the general director of the Hermitage Museum, will then certify the copy by signing them and indicting the exact time each signature. The auction winners will also receive an exclusive NFT video showing Piotrowski certifying the artworks. So cool. This is just an NFT artwork. I don't need to finish that article. This is just a light, fun article that doesn't need to be thrown in there. Yeah, because like we're going to soon see museums out there just holding NFTs out there. Can you imagine that? Like you walk into a museum one week and you just have a digital artwork just hanging on the wall. No more like other paintings or anything, but you just got that. And like the sweet thing about it is like, okay, the NFT, like once the collection's done for the week, it's like, okay, let's switch them up. They go on the computer, blue. Let's switch this to this masterpiece this week. We're gonna have a Van Gogh artwork, and then bam, they just change everything with Van Gogh artwork. Following week, it's like, okay, we're done with our showing. Brilliant. Let's switch it up to Vincent Van Gogh's now. Did I already say Van Gogh? I probably did. I'm not sure what the artists out there. I'm not an artist guy. But it's just going to be that easy to move around art now because NFTs can show the ownership. You can't just go in there, steal the photo, and then bam, it's gone. This is going to be a new way of art in the future. But there's so much more use cases for NFTs. This is just the beginning, but it's fun news out there. Next up in our news articles, we have the largest crypto seizure in Brazil. Nearly $29 million worth of digital assets were seized. Following the Operation Cryptos, the Brazilian authorities arrested 5 civilians and confiscated $28.7 million worth of digital assets. The Brazilian federal police exposed a local financial pyramid scheme and confiscated nearly $30 million in the cryptocurrency. The operation marked the largest seizure of the digital asset in history of Brazil. According to a report by the CNN Brazil, the local authorities organized a special mission called Operation Cryptos to halt the fraudulent pyramid scheme operating in the area of Rio de Janeiro. After inspecting 15 different locations, the federal police arrested 5 people and executed the largest ever seizure of digital assets inside the borders of South American nation, around $28.7 million. One of the 5 suspects, Gladson Asciasio, an owner of Bitcoin consultancy in the municipality of Cabo Frio near Rio de Janeiro. According to accusations, he was in charge of a cryptocurrency scam that promised investors a return of up to 15% of the invested assets. That right there is a red flag. Never trust somebody who says they can get you 15% or more. Cryptocurrency is all about doing your own research. The market can go up and down. It's very volatile. And one of my rules, I always suggest people be prepared to see the market go completely down to zero. Just have that in the back of your mind. That's what we saw in 2018. But that was caused by Trump using Mt. Gox's coins. But I don't know how they can do that again, where those coins are out there. I don't know if maybe use Coinbase, steal from all the exchanges. But you got to know the risk when it comes to cryptocurrencies. So just having someone offer you that 15%, that's a risk and a red flag there. So I wouldn't trust them. But apart from the record amount, the digital assets that plays compensate around $3.6 million in cash, expensive watches, 21 luxury cars, values in the foreign currency, and documents. So, that is a huge seizure. So that government's probably going to get a lot of money there. Because I'm not sure how the laws work over there. I just know in America, if they seize it, they auction it off for the value of whatever they can get, and that goes into the government. But with South America, I don't know the rules there. They just keep it, and now it's part of the government, so there's no need to auction it off to people. But that's that news. Next up in our articles, I think this is a fun news article. U.S. SEC quietly signs a deal to spy on crypto DeFi transactions. Authorities have been quick to jump on the crypto regulatory train this year, and the DeFi market is not being left behind. The U.S. Securities Exchange Commission, an American agency that overlooks security markets, has contracted one blockchain analytics firm to help monitor and regulate the burgeoning decentralized finance industry, as per a weekend report by Forbes. Spying on transactions signed with on-chain AI, the initial value of the contract is $125,000, with 5 separate 1-year, $125,000 option years for a total of $625,000. The firm is a San Jose-based blockchain startup that focuses on tracking illicit activity across crypto exchanges, DeFi protocols, and traditional financial institutions. In a tweet by Toro Portillo, SEC signs a deal with the on-chain.ai to investigate DeFi transactions, expect securities enforcement actions launched against DeFi soon. The Street Journal, SEC, Gary Gensler, warned that DeFi operations are not immune from oversight because they use the word decentralized, and that there's still a core group of folks that are not only writing the software, like the open source software, but they often have governance and fees. There's some incentive structure for those promoters and sponsors in the middle of this. It recently raised over $10 million by Susquehanna Group, affiliated in the undisclosed valuation at bolsters TAC. Far from monitoring known crypto wallets tied to hackers and bad actors, on-chain.ai's predictive engine claims that identifying unknown addresses and transactions could be suspicious. The structure allows the firm to become a predictive product that alerts of impending risks rather than post-incident ones, a feature that seems to have piqued the SEC's interest. It marks one of the first ever instances of a governance body signing on a blockchain player to search for illicit transaction and is a part of a broader move toward regulating the crypto sector in recent times. The SEC is very keen on understanding what's happening in the world of smart contract-based digital assets, so we are providing them with a technology to analyze and trace smart contracts, said on-chain.ai CAO and a co-founder, Victor Feng, in a statement. Okay, so SEC is going to be monitoring some wallets through blockchain.ai. Kudos for them. Just be aware that the DeFi they're looking for is through non-decentralized exchanges. As I said previously, DeFi may not always mean a decentralized finance. You really got to do your own research. See if the company has an ICO, IEO, or IPO, initial coin offering, initial token offering, or initial exchange offering. But like all of those are coins that just they pre-sold it. There's a pre-mentioned amount of coins. The company is centralized, so the owners of it can do whatever they want. So that's what you got to be looking out for with centralized tokens. Like if it has an IEO or IPO or ICO, then it is centralized. I would stay away from it. That's just my rule, because we also have to Reggie Middleton with his Veritas token. He had an SEC and the SEC, or yeah, he had a ICO, and he was really going to shut down or tear down all the banking system giants out there with his technology. He was early. Should really look into his story, but the SEC shut him down overnight. Same thing happened to Ripple. They have that long going also. Ripple has an ICO, and they are totally centralized. But yeah, you got to do your research, people, so you don't get hurt in the long run. Next up, we're almost done, people. India's central banks to begin testing its CBDC in December. India has announced that it is ready to begin testing its electronic rupees toward the end of 2021. The governor of India's central bank, Kanta Das, disclosed that in an interview with CNBC media outlets. Das told CNBC that the Reserve Bank of India, RBI, is at least well placed to start pilot programs for its centralized bank digital currency by December. I think by the end of the year, we would be in position perhaps to start our first trials. Das told CNBC. The governor stated that the Central Bank of India is studying several aspects of its CBDC, including its security impact on India's financial sector, as well as how it would affect monetary policy and currency in circulation. We're being extremely careful about it because it's completely a new product, not just for RBI, but globally, Das said. The governor recognized the security of the national digital currency is a top priority in studying multiple aspects of operating, such as assets technology issues. The possible cloning should be avoided, Das said. Das further stated the central bank is studying the option of using central ledger for the CBDC, or the so-called distributed ledger technology. Central ledger refers to the database operated and owned by a single entity. In this case, it is the central bank, and the other hand, distributed ledger technologies is a digital database that allows multiple participants to access, share, and record transactions simultaneously. The majority of cryptocurrencies run on the distributed ledger technology DLT. Yeah, so basically that. It's going to be another centralized token. Like I said, it's owned by one entity, the bank, which is centralized. Decentralized, run by multiple people who's totally in control and in charge. So it's spread out, anybody can use it. But when it comes to centralization, one person's in charge, aka this is India's bank. So they're going to try it out, they're going to test it out, they're going to be in control of it. But that's what's coming in our future. Countries out there just making their own centralized bank digital currency just to compete with the normal fiat they have, and also they're just trying to compete with Bitcoin. But all in all, Bitcoin is, I didn't want to say inferior, so that in reverse. All centralized bank digital currencies are inferior to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the king of all cryptos, and just stack those sats while you can. And lastly in the news for today, CNBC surveys 1 in 10 people in the US are investing in cryptocurrency. That number still seems very, very low. I feel like more people would be, but that just shows we're still early. But 1 in 10, that's a good number. A recent survey shows that more than 1 in 10 people in the US are investing in crypto assets. According to a report by CNBC published on August 24th, the results from a poll conducted by CNBC and the American chemical company Momentive suggest that 11% of adults in the United States are investing in crypto assets. The report said that the CNBC Momentive survey had 5,523 respondents who were U.S. residents, adults, and it was conducted between August 4th and August 9th. 11% of these people said that they were crypto investors. Apparently, around 65% of the people holding crypto only got started investing in the past year. That's me. I started in October. I'm coming to my first year, and I am loving it. Have not been happier. Haven't had more of a security. I don't want to say that because I was always paycheck to paycheck all my life. But now, like having this assets under my control in my portfolio, I have not been happier and just well better off. Those who invest in cryptocurrencies say they do so because of the potential for long-term growth, 60%, the potential for high growth in short period, 40%, and ease of making own traders, 30%, and excitement investing. Baxter, quiet. It's my dog going crazy. It's been a long video, so she was doing good all day. But less than half of 44% of the general public don't know where they expect Bitcoin to be at the end of 2021. 21% say higher than where it is now, 14% say about where it is now, and 14% say lower than where it is now. New investors are more optimistic about cryptocurrency than those who began investing before 2019. A third, 36% of new investors believe the price of Bitcoin will be higher than it is now, compared to 20% of other investors. The survey also covered crypto investing demographics, finding that the men were twice as likely as women to invest in crypto assets across all racial and ethnic groups. Older investors were also more likely to rate cryptocurrencies as a high risk. And that makes sense. Older people don't trust it. It's new technology that it just blows their mind. It goes over their head. It's like, what is this? Made out of thin air? No, Grandpa, it is a technology. It's programming. It's coding. And so it's run on what created what we call a computer, Grandpa. You remember when the Visa card, you swipe it, you were still using cash or writing checks? This is just a new technology that you're going to have to get used to because it's going to be the future, and get on it while you can before the whole world adopts it. But yeah, so that's that news. Kudos. And there we did it. We have all the articles. Man, how many articles was that today, people? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 articles. I usually only do around like 4 or 5 in a video. So this video probably lasts around like probably 30 or 40 minutes. As we look through the market cap pricing, we're, like you said, we're in the red. Litecoin's down to 167. Polygon's to 131. Theta's at 650, DAI, Pancake Swap. Yeah, so like we see ups and downs in this, but let's see if I can switch this up a little bit. Let's switch this up a little bit higher. I wish we could, like, there was a way to look at this within like a year's time span. So you look at it through a, let's see, in the 7-day high. Nope, that doesn't do that. I wish I could have did that. Watch the list. I should do that, or would I have to log in? Where's our new thing? Nah. But yeah, I wish I could add it. Let's see, is there any more features? I just want to really show like the difference between like a year's time. Or let's just click on Bitcoin. Why not? And put in data, 1 year's time. So in a 1 year's time aspect, we have the percentage, 24%. Like where we are from the year, we are still up. A year ago, Bitcoin's price was around $10,000, and being at 48,900, just pushing 50,000, we've come a long way. So I know like we see ups and downs through the year. It kind of gets discouraging, but if you just look at the long term, like we have come a long way in the past year. And it's not just Bitcoin. Let's close the watch list, go back to normal. Like, it's not just them either. Where's my profile? Coin market cap. There we go. Let's take a look at Ethereum too. 1 year total. Yep, same with Ethereum. Back then, a year ago, Ethereum was at around like $700, and now we're in the 3,000s, which definitely gives me hope for Litecoin, because Litecoin's in the $100 range, and like its all time was 400. Like we didn't expect to use like these prices because Litecoin could go to 1/4 at Bitcoin's ratio, but that's as long as the adoption takes hold. But yeah, so like don't be discouraged about getting in when. Just hold it for a year, and like you'll be fine. Like you'll be happy that you held on to like your cryptocurrencies. And as we look at the crypto fear and greed index today, we're at 73, which is just greed. So we're not extreme greed, but greed. So it's a good time to buy still. But if you don't know, extreme fear can be a sign that investors are too worried. That can be a great buying opportunity. But when investors are getting too greedy, that means the market is due for a correction. So again, 73 not so bad. Agreed. Can you prepare for a correction? If not, yeah. So guys, thank you so much for watching. We're at the 44-minute mark. Very long video today. Probably even more videos like this because like daily videos are hard to do, and I don't see much viewership of them or from them. But I feel like just getting all the news in one is a good thing to do. So let me know in the comments down below if you like these new ways of making a video, just having a bunch of news articles blasted at you. We go over them for the couple of days, and then I'll be here. But again, thank you guys so much for still being here. For those of you still watching, give it a thumbs up, like and subscribe. Love you all so much. Be safe out there in the crypto world. Keep educating yourself. And I will certainly see you in the next video. Have a great night.